by a man who experienced a ton of pain. And yes, he asked God hard questions. He asked all the why questions. Why, God, have you allowed this to happen to me? Why did this happen to me and not to somebody else? Why at this time and in this place? And God never answered one of Job's questions. But in the last 4 chapters of the book of Job, God comes to Job and starts asking Job questions like, where were you when the moon and the sun and the earth were created? And God gives Job a bigger vision of reality. God helps Job see how small we human beings are, how big God is. And if we think that we're going to be able to wrap our minds around all the difficult questions and have good, solid answers, we are naive. There's a tremendous mystery to life, but God has given us minds so that we can begin to understand reality. Also, God gave Job a deep sense of His presence, His witness. And that, friends, is the best way to deal with pain, to embrace the presence of God and to allow God to go with us through our pain. That is exactly what Mother Teresa did. She was a woman of deep faith, but she also struggled with depression. She also struggled with the hiddenness of God, with the silence of God. But she held on to Christ. She kept on doing what she knew was right to help the poor in Calcutta, India, and elsewhere. And as she continued to honor Christ with her life, she grew in faith. No, she did not always have overwhelming spiritual experiences. In fact, she struggled with real loneliness and real depression. But she held on to Christ, and she allowed pain to be a teacher instead of a discourager. She allowed pain to refine her faith. And that's exactly what Job did. For Job understood that his faith was not based on the circumstances of life. Instead, his faith was based on the character of God, which is good. Life is unfair, God is fair. Never get the two mixed up. Turn to a suffering God. Turn to Jesus Christ, for He can connect with you in your pain, in your anxiety, in your stress, in your depression, and He can pull you out and bring you joy and peace. God bless you as you put your faith in Jesus Christ.